I'm on an accidental warpath. Oh, could you lay it out for me? Blind from the taste of all this vengeance. God, have I become the enemy? Crushed by the weight of all my forced ambition. Grey skies surrounding me. I'm on an accidental warpath. A road I'd rather leave so I can breathe. And it hurts when I call your name. God, it hurts, are we all the same? I know that I'm to blame. It's hard to face the shame. Ooh. I'm on an accidental warpath, losing all that I hold dear. You were the rock beneath this crumbling fortress, cursing the ship no one could steer away from here. And it hurts when I call your name. God, it hurts, are we all the same? I know that I'm all to blame. It's hard to face the shame.
What's up, guys? I'm Francis and welcome to Stories in Sound. Today I'm here with Corban Koschak
Hey, thanks for having me.
This Pale Fire. How's it going, man?
It's good. Yeah, good. How you doing?
Pretty good, yeah. A bit warm, summer.
Yeah, totally.
Give us an intro. Who are you? What is this Spellfire?
So this Pale is kind of the alias that I go under for all my singer-songwriting stuff. So I write and perform basically kind of alty folk songs, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it for?
So I've been writing music since I was about 14, just in my bedroom, but only for the last 4 years I've kind of been taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all up, I've been writing songs for a long time, but just kind of getting out to the gigging and...
Yeah. Because when did the alias come around, the Spellfire?
That was kind of, so when about 4 years ago, I thought I should probably, maybe see if I can make something out of it. And I thought I didn't really want to go with my name.
Okay.
Because I thought, I don't know, it might be a bit too hard for people to find it. And I also didn't want people to attach the music to a person. I wanted it just to be kind of like...
its own kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't matter if it was a band, if it was one person, it was just about the song and if you liked that or not.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. It's a good way to approach it because some people want their name to be the thing that people know.
Yeah.
And then almost the songs are secondary, whereas definitely putting music first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that how you approach it as well? Do you go it's always about the instrumental first or vocal sort of stuff first?
Yeah, I think I sort of just play around with sort of song ideas and melodies, and then the biggest thing for me is just having a really catchy kind of pleasant melody, and then I'll kind of find words that fit almost like a jigsaw puzzle, and then to a theme, and then I usually just sit on it for ages and be what I want to talk about, or rather than try to push something out too quickly. So yeah, in that sense, they're not. I try to write them quite ambiguously, so they're not about me, or some of them are about my experiences, but I kind of write them broadly so anyone can take their own sort of thing out of it.
Things, eh?
Yeah.
Well, let's go a little bit more into your sort of musical journey, okay? So you're saying you started taking this seriously about 4 years ago, started music as a thing about 14. Where did you start? What did you get into as far as listening and stuff initially?
I guess I went through kind of the alty sort of emo phase in high school, so all those kind of bands. Yeah. Which was probably a big influence, had a metal stage and stuff like that. And nowadays I kind of listen to a bit of everything, but mostly ambient music, kind of post-progressive kind of rock stuff, and then
real atmospheric stuff.
Yeah, This Will Destroy You and all that stuff, and then I like a lot of folky, Daughter and The National, so a bit more indie kind of. Yeah,
cool. And that's what you're kind of into at the moment?
Yeah. I guess it changes, but I always do I kind of rotate around the same sort of genres.
Yeah. When did you start performing?
I think my first gig was, I can't remember the pub, but it was a small open mic down the end of town. I think there were about 4 people. It was a bit...
Did you let anybody know that you were going to be going and singing? Or
Nah.
Did you just go there, just you?
Yeah, just went there with me. I think I had my sister and a couple of friends, but it was very much just wanted to kind of get it out of the way. Yeah. Could have gone better. I was pretty green, I think.
Yeah.
And the people.
It's the first gig.
Yeah. So but since then, kind of little small intimate venues like the Wine Cellar, that kind of thing. Yeah. Just local.
Yeah. Have you gone through any sort of formal training as far as music or vocal or anything like that?
No, it's always been kind of just a passion thing I've done on the side. So I'd write stuff, and it was all got the guitar, and I just learned tabs, and then would learn my favorite songs, and then from that just sort of play around with my own ideas and writing. So nothing formal, but I did get my friend kind of gave me a few cheeky piano lessons, just to, for the basic music theory. But nothing solid. Yeah.
Anything you've just sort of picked up along the way?
Yeah.
Just by chance.
Yeah, pretty much. We had a piano at my house since I was since I was born, so I'd always just go and play it. But it was learn the basic chords, and then just figure something out through there. But I mean, if it sounds good, it's kind of good.
You just go off what sounds good, not about what theoretically should sound good.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because as I was learning more theory, it was kind of there are these things that you do, and I'm doing them naturally already. But I think if you wanted to take it further, and you're going to, I don't know, doing maybe more weird time signatures or something, for sure you'd need some solid training maybe. But for what I'm doing, I think it's okay.
Yeah. What made you want to do the singer-songwriter side of things as opposed to going in and being a vocalist for a band or guitarist for a band sort of thing?
I think for me it was more I kind of, my process is quite like, I'll lock myself off and just focus really deep on one thing. So I think I work better doing it alone. So I've got like a band that will play with me live when we have bigger shows and stuff like that. But I think for me, I wanted it to be as small or big as it needed to be.
Yeah.
Like to just
You
kind of
scale it,
ideas.
and it would still have that same sort of essence, but you can scale it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think with the band, it's so hard keeping everyone focused and committed. And I don't know, like it was, because I tried a couple, but I think it was just, for me, it was just easier to drive it sort of myself.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. What sort of artist would you say influenced this sort of album kind of directly?
I guess there's elements of a lot of like Radiohead and pop kind of like Coldplay stuff thrown in there as well, and maybe a bit of like Daughter and Ben Howard. It's kind of, more that indie sort of pop folk sort of spectrum. Yeah.
And how about over the years, like as far as the music we'll say, what kind of music were you playing at that for sort of 14? Sort of
14 would have been like Linkin Park sort of covers and all that kind of stuff, and then going through like My Kim and all that stuff. But yeah, like I guess from just doing, like I just listen to a lot of music, so I think I kind of would naturally just pick up on things that I really like, and then just kind of
just learn the part of that song that sounded cool.
Yeah. But then I think also for me, like my approach is almost kind of like a child finger painting. Like I'll just jam it out, like just with no ideas in my head, and just see like, well, that's kind of cool, and like what if you go there, or just sort of tinker around and find some sort of pattern that sounds, find a riff or something like that sounds pretty rad, and then build off that. Yeah, man. Exactly.
Because you play both acoustic and electric as far as guitar. What would you more prefer? What sort of gear do you use for that?
I think probably acoustic for like simplicity. Like I can just rock up anywhere with the acoustic, and that's like a full sound. I'm really getting into the electric a bit more, because I started on electric, kind of went off and sort of came back. I think with a more sort of atmospheric reverby approach, I'm kind of getting into that sort of vibe a bit more now. So I kind of, at the moment, I'm kind of balancing sort of half and half between the two. Yeah.
What kind of gear do you use?
So I've just got my guitars, like a Taylor and a Epiphone one, and then I need to sort out a proper amp, but I've got like the Vox amp from the studio, which I kind of use mostly, and then like a sort of a Boss Space Echo pedal, and that's kind of mainly I've got one of the loop pedals, but I've kind of not been using that as much.
Haven't played with it too much?
Yeah. For a couple of songs I was using it, but I think I feel like with that I'd need to get like a whole lot better, because you see like Ed Sheeran doing it, and he's just like, mental, exactly. So I feel like if I'm going to bust that out, I have to be super good at it.
What other sort of projects have you been involved with, sort of as a musician, sort of even outside of This Pale Fire, or as This Pale Fire?
So I did a lot of stuff with Symbol, which was more of like he's like kind of an electronic DJ, sort of Flume and stuff like that. So I kind of we ended up working on an EP together, which was quite pop. Electronic. So the basic songwriting was kind of the same approach, where it was more sort of indie rock, and then with kind of this pop sort of element added over the top of it. So that did all right on George and stuff, and we ended up playing Homegrown, and that was pretty fun.
How about other bands or other things you've played with in the past?
I've done some stuff more just like jamming. Like I had friends and stuff, and we'd kind of do like little covers or originals, but we never like put a name to it and pushed it out or anything.
Just sort of making a bit of noise.
Yeah, just having fun and jamming and
No, that's the way to do it as well, though. Huh?
Yeah, definitely. You got to have fun with it.
Exactly. It's not always just about the job of it. It's about having fun with your friends as well.
Definitely. Yeah.
No, I mean, cool.
I admit that I'm not the same anymore. There's an empty space where you were before. So I board it up, keep it out of reach. Shut away the world while the rest are asleep. That's when you told me, oh, we'll float out and disappear. My mind awake from the moment atmosphere. And if we fall apart, I'll remember all the things you'd say. Maybe I could see you say. We only see the start, now we're at our ends. Falling piece by piece through this opal lens. You were alchemy, we were bathed in gold. But we speak in tongues and the fear takes hold. That's when you told me, oh, we'll float out and disappear. My mind awake from the motion. Oh, we're made of the atmosphere. If we fall apart, I'll remember all the things you do. Maybe I could see you soon. I was on fire and you were a ghost. Such earthly desire that hurt me the most. Lay down your armor and open your door. My heart and skin can take no more.
Alright, so let's start talking about the album, alright? You just released a full-length album titled Alchemy.
Yep.
Congrats on that.
Cheers, thank you.
It's a huge,
Yeah.
huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
Tell us about the album itself, like how many tracks, how long you've been working on, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so it was, it's been a while in the making. I think it's like a 12-track album that we sort of ended up with, but it was a lot of these songs I've been kind of sitting on for the last sort of 2 years and slowly developing. And I got in touch with Levi Patel, who's like an incredible kind of neoclassical ambient musician. And so I was a big fan of his, and I was like, oh, it'd be amazing if you wanted to like kind of work on a song or something together. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty busy, but I'll check it out. And so I sent him some stuff and he really liked it, and he was like really keen to produce some of it. So it went from 1 song to 4 songs, like a full-on album. And managed to get kind of a label behind it as well.
Oh, nice.
Which was super cool, big pop guys. And so we kind of just, so I had about 6 kind of floating around that we worked on. And then once it turned, because originally it was just going to be like an EP, and then it turned into like a bigger project. And so I kind of ended up writing songs to fit into what I would want to hear on an album. So it wasn't just kind of like, one kind of vibe or anything. I wanted it to kind of move around. And so I was like, it needs like a piano ballad, in the 9th track or whatever. So I was like, I'll write this, So I went out and then I tried to write this one song for that part.
Yeah.
So
and wrote it and you ended like when you decided, okay, we're doing an album.
Yeah.
You went in and planned it and kind of wrote it as an album as opposed to just bringing all these songs together. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because the big thing for me is kind of trying to kind of create a musical journey, because I think growing up, like I just loved listening to the albums that like kind of just moved around and progressed, and so we wanted to really sort of capture that and make sure it was interesting enough, because as like a solo guitar artist, like a big thing for us was how do we make it interesting enough? Like we don't want it to just be in a guitar for an hour or whatever.
Yeah, so you're letting that album kind of take you on a journey itself.
Yeah,
so it's got the peaks and the sort of slow bits, the sort of more intense moments. Like a lot of the songs, when listening, like they start out really cut back, and then throughout there's like a gradual build, gradual introduction of this, introduction of that, and just sort of building to like climactic sort of moments as well. It's like a really cool feel to it.
Oh, cheers, thank you. Yeah, I think the thing with me is that I write all my songs like that, so I had to kind of like strip back some of them so they weren't all just the same.
This big build all the time.
Start soft and then build up to this massive thing. Yeah. So,
when did you decide to go for that full length?
I think it was mainly I was happy just kind of doing EPs and exploring and trying to find like sort of my style. And then once I kind of started collaborating with Levi, like I just felt like this is what I want to kind of present like as a musician. So I just think we have a really good work dynamic. So I just wanted to kind of So I was like, if I'm going to do it, like this would be the perfect opportunity to do it. And so like thankfully, like it was really lucky that he was keen on it as well. To get
you kind of got him on board. And you're like, actually,
pretty much, it was like one song, 4 and then 5 and then an album and then, so no, it was good. And I think, like from when we first got in touch about it, it would have been about, I guess, 2 years before we actually finally got it out in the world. So we definitely sat and made sure that it was all exactly the way we wanted to, because like he has a studio up in Matakana that we kind of went to and did a lot of the creative kind of recording there, and it was
a bit of pre-pro stuff as well.
So kind of like I'd bring the skeleton songs and I'd be like, this is what I want. And then we'd play around with weird kind of looping effects. And at one point I was like playing like a cello bow on like an electric guitar and just all kinds of like just making it quite, I don't know, abstract almost. And then we took those and recorded them in the Big Pop Kingsland studio like sort of properly. So it was kind of like a longer process, but I think we definitely like tried to make the songs as good as we could.
Because how many songs would you say you came into the project with? And how many kind of started after, say, Levi was already on board?
Probably about half of them I had and then half came. So about 6. I would have had 6 in the bag that I was like, these ones I really want to get out. And that's why I thought like an EP would be logical. And then it was like, like we'll make an album and I'll write everything else as we kind of go.
Because did he come in with some, as far as like song ideas, or did you kind of work on getting like a bass piece first and then like sort of presented it and then built with Levi off that?
So I'd write them all kind of like the chords and the melodies and like the lyrics and stuff, and then I'd sort of bring them to him, and then he'd kind of, he's got a sort of a better mind for composition, I think, like sort of in adding layers and making sure it moves and keeps people interested.
When you decided on when you were like, as far as the layout of the tracks in the album form, did that kind of change much? You're saying, actually, we'll put this one here, or did you kind of, when you found their place, they kind of stuck to it?
I think I had a general idea at the start, and I remember having a playlist of all the rough kind of demos as we were making them, and then I kind of just stopped, and I was like, I just wanted to focus on each song. Like each song should just be the best it should be, and then at the end I was like,
now
someone was like, okay, what's the track list? I'm like, oh, okay. So I kind of went away for like 2 days and just like listened to it in all these different kind of variations, and then finally I'm like, I think this is the right way for it.
Did you get kind of sick of the songs by the end of it?
I think, I love the way. I love what Levi has added to them, but I think what I have written has been around for so long. For some of them, some of the new ones, it's okay, but
I'm sitting on a few guitar songs that I've just sat there for, I'm gonna say a decade.
Right.
Not done anything with them. And I just pick it up and tinker, but I'm like, I'm kind of over these now.
It was kind of like, I think the good thing with the album is that now, as a creative exercise, they're done. Like this is that song. So now
they're effectively finished.
Exactly. So I'm kind of trying to write new stuff at the moment, and I feel like I've kind of cleared the plate for that.
Yeah, sweet. So you're just sort of now fresh. Who else did you collaborate with on the album? Also in sort of in the past, as far as that EP and stuff.
Right. So that's funny because for the first EP there was a guy I used to work with, Carl Wetton, who's like kind of a good friend. He sort of was the first person who heard my stuff, and he was in he had been in like Equinox back in the day and stuff, and he's like a very like quite a good musician in the circle and stuff. And so he heard them and was like, oh, these are really good. And I'm like, oh wow, like someone who does this thinks that my stuff's kind of decent. And so I'm like, oh, you're singing well, thanks, mum. Like, you know, but so he kind of backed it, and then like Nick as well, who's drumming in Echo Park. So they kind of jumped on and helped me do the first EP as well, which was super cool. So that was kind of like the foot in the door. I think in the whole like gigging and doing all that stuff. And then there was the stuff with Symbol, and then of course Levi with this one, and it's kind of the main collabs I've done.
As far as the singles, because you've released 2 singles so far. Because there are Curse and Northern Lights. How do you go about picking what song you want to push forward as a single? Is that coming from you, or is that more from from the label?
I think we were all agreed that Northern Lights to me was kind of the best representation of me as an artist in this sort of style that we're going for. And then I think everyone, because one of the songs got put into like a Les Mills playlist, so I managed to get a lot of fans through that, which is awesome. Yeah. So they were all really keen on that song. So we're like, well, we got to put this one out. So that was like cursed.
Kind of gets its own sort of life, own sort of traction.
Yeah, exactly, which is cool. And then I think the Huffington Post listened to the album and they're like, we really like End of Science. So they wanted to put that out. I'm like, well, I guess that's the next single then. And then we got funding for Float Out. So I guess that's kind of the next single, which we were kind of like, I think Float Out would be good because it's a bit more, it's a bit happier, which is like good, I guess, because the other stuff can get a little bit sort of sad.
Float Out definitely has that sort of definitely poppier.
Yeah.
Sort of vibe to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of like a fun, like just kind of get it in and have a groove.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've left my home, a curse on my bones, a long road I ride, with no end in sight, into the woods, with its all-seeing eyes. I can see through your heart, deep within its disguise. And we fight till our bodies give us nothing, and we fall to feel like we are something. Gathered in flames, arrows leading the way. I could follow you back to our familiar place. Forest on fire, mountains covered in haze. Walk right up to the tower and defend what remains. And we fight till our bodies give us nothing, and we fall to feel like we are something. Fight till our bodies give us nothing, and we fall. It's you. It's you.
Right, so you mentioned as far as performing, you like to be able to scale it relative to what is kind of required. What would you say you enjoy more? Is it more like sort of the just you performances, or do you like getting everybody involved and having that sort of full band as well?
I think they're good for separate reasons. Yeah, so I really like the solo ones, like just more for the audience interaction. Like it's a bit more kind of raw, which I do enjoy doing. And then with the band, it's kind of like more of like it's a lot funner doing it with other people as well. Like so it's more of like you're all in this together. And I think there's less pressure than if it's just you. Like
Yeah.
if you make one mistake, everyone will hear it, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, like
You don't have that kind of
gloss over.
safety of more noise.
Exactly, yeah. So if you're playing with like a band and you make a mistake, like it's probably like, if they're playing the right chords, then you're going, they're good. Yeah. But if you do it on stage and you're alone, it's like, oh, and then you just kind of like have to keep going. Yeah, like oh no, yeah. But it doesn't happen too often, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I think doing the solo stuff, because that's kind of how I started doing it. So I think for confidence and just getting used to gigging, that definitely kind of helped. So yeah. So now when I have a band, it's almost like I do find it enjoyable because it's just about like having kind of a groove and jamming with them. Yeah,
for sure. How about that sort of, because with your stuff you got like sort of guitar, vocal. When you're playing with cymbal, it was just you with the mic. Or did you get up with guitar a bit as well?
When we released the Cycle EP, I jumped up and we were kind of doing a bit of gigs around, and so I'd have like the acoustic guitar and sort of sing as well. So we're trying to kind of make it more of like a sort of a band kind of performance. But so that's been out for a while, and I jump up and do some performances with them now. But if it's just like one song or that, you know, I'll just jump up and with the mic, which is
but interesting. How does that feel, just doing mic stuff versus blues guitar and mic?
Yeah, it's. I think for me the guitar is definitely like a safety blanket. So I'm more comfortable kind of because then I'm doing something, and I think when it's just me sort of singing, I have to commit more and do that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I think
what do I do with my hands?
Exactly. Yeah, and I think because the song and the audience is different. So with my stuff, it's more like sort of chill and laid back, and everyone's just kind of listening to the lyrics, and it's all very, very quiet. And then for that stuff, it's more like amping. So I feel like I have to do the hype man thing a bit, which is quite unnatural for me. So I have to push it more, which is a great experience. Yeah. It's like
you get the arm up going like that, is it?
Not quite just yet. Yeah. I do the sort of like the duck down sort of dance. Yeah. It's good. It's good fun.
Did you try a few things out, like say as far as in practice before that, saying like, okay, did that work? Did that not? Or would you just sort of on stage just sort of wing it and see what happens?
I kind of wing it, which seems to work. I think because in practice, like technically we'll go through everything, make sure it's working, but like even if you pretend to be like into it, it's quite different when you actually have like a crowd. So when you've got the crowd kind of sort of, you know, really getting into the music, like you kind of get into it a bit more as well. So I feel like you kind of have to feed off each other for a bit. So it's a bit of both, I guess. Yeah.
Because with performing with cymbal again, did you get like people sort of singing lyrics back? Or could you spot people out, or was it not quite like that?
I think for one of the songs, Burst of Colour, like a couple people knew like the chorus and they'd jump in, which was super nice.
Is it a bit strange seeing people singing back at you?
It's nice. Yeah, it's cool because like the whole point and why I do music is that I want them to be like their own sort of songs. So if these people like, you know, that they remember the chorus, then it's kind of like they like it a bit, which is pretty cool as a musician. Yeah.
So for the videos that you released, jumping back to that, they're like massive high quality productions.
Oh, cheers, thank you.
What was the sort of, because did you approach like that, okay, like I want it to look clean, crisp, super professional, or again was that more like label being okay, we want to really put this clean professional look across? What was the sort of thing there? I
think I've got a kind of like a good friend of mine, Yonoko Lee, is like an amazing director, and so we have a very similar creative sort of vision. So we wanted to collaborate on some stuff, and so we went out and made Northern Lights, which the label put some money towards, which was great. And so we kind of just pulled in like quite a few favors as well, and managed to get something really choice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, cheers, thank you. And then we got funding, which is awesome for Curse, and we were like, so we could just make a music video, or we could like try and make like, you know, some art, so to speak. Kind of like a short film. So we wanted to do something that was a little bit like out of my comfort zone, definitely, but just kind of like as a contrast, because the song's so kind of peaceful and serene, I guess. We wanted to do something a bit darker with the visuals to create a bit of sort of tension. Yeah, exactly. So
more abstract as well.
Yeah, so, and I think even for that one we got funding, but we ended up half the people were just pulling in favors, and they were just really into the project, which was amazing. So many people just thought it was a cool idea and wanted to kind of
seeing some of the photos you put out, I was like, wow, there's a bunch of people involved.
Yeah, it was cool. I think a lot of people just wanted, I think if you do something that's a bit different and cooler, like, so, well, not cooler, but like just, you know, just a bit, not like the normal, they want to get, like, they're more like keen to kind of get onto it.
That
but
is
like,
a bit different. That normal sort of stuff.
And the idea being that when there's more funding, like, we'll you know, you try and pay it back and
Yeah. Or even when another project comes up in the future that's more funded.
Exactly.
Keeping that sort of relationship going. Because what was the name of the director? Sorry.
Yunoko Lee. Yeah.
Did they work on both?
Yeah. So she did both. Which is
Yeah. And are you looking to work together again for Float Out?
Yeah. So we've got some ideas, and we'll probably end up doing something. It's just trying to find out. Now we're like, okay, we've done these ones. Like, what do we follow it up with? Yeah. So I feel like we don't want to just make it, like the first thing that comes to mind. So you got to push through
this
some
is
ideas.
A cool idea, but let's just sit on that a while.
Yeah.
See what we come up with. Because when are you hoping to have that sort of thing?
I guess hopefully. Before the first half of next year would be ideal, but I guess depending on what the idea is, and how many people we need to, how hard it is to execute. We probably won't do anything too crazy, but you got to have some kind of a challenge, I think, with it.
What about 2018? All right, what are your plans? What have you got coming up? All that sort of stuff.
So next year I'll probably focus on just doing a bit more gigs and getting out there. So I think the album sort of was taking up a bit of my time, just sort of focusing on that and getting that right, getting it out the door and stuff, because I do all the artwork and stuff as well. So it was kind of getting all that through the door. And so I think this year, or next year, I just want to get out there and do a few more gigs, maybe do like a mini New Zealand tour or something. And then I'm doing a lot of writing at the moment. So so I feel like I'm just trying to figure out like what the next sort of direction I take from here is. But I'll probably focus on doing maybe an EP or something. Yeah.
Sort of keep that. Well, because an album, it's a massive process. And in today's climate, people want new pretty quick. Doing like album, then follow up EP.
Yeah, I feel like, and then also like because that was such a big commitment, I kind of want to do something that's a little less intense. So then when it comes time to do the next album, I can like fully commit again. So I feel like EPs are a great little like mini album, and you don't need to kind of stress as much. I feel like I didn't realize how much work there was that went into just making like a piece of that length. But it was a good experience.
What made you want to actually? Because are you doing any physical release, or is it all just digital?
We've got a couple of physical copies. I think like. Mighty Ape and I think like JB Hi-Fi might have some, which is super cool. I kind of want to go and like see one in the flesh. But
would you ever go vinyl?
Oh, definitely. If there was like the demand for it. That'd be super cool.
Have it there.
I think if there's someone out there who's like a vinyl buff and they're like, I got this Pale Fire vinyl, like I'd be like, sweet, day made.
Sorted, eh?
Yeah.
What about outside of music? What else do you do? What else are you interested in?
So I do a lot of like design and stuff, like sort of for my job. So I do a lot of like sort of motion graphics and little animations. And it's like really into like Ghibli movies and like Japanese like Akira and all that kind of stuff. And then like lots of just music listening. I quite enjoy just like not doing music and listening to it as well, because there's so much like amazing content out there.
Do you find you are able to just listen to music and enjoy it, or do you kind of find yourself critiquing it a bit as well, or does it just put yourself in different mindsets?
I think it's a different mindset. Because I listen to a lot of music when I'm doing like sort of the other artistic, like visual stuff. So when I'm doing the visual stuff, then I can kind of just listen to music passively, and it's just kind of going and stuff. Which is why I think I have stopped listening to a lot of the band sort of folk stuff with vocals, and I listen to more of the atmospheric stuff. I think maybe because I can switch off a bit more. And not have to. I'm not thinking like, that's a really cool like melody they did there, or that lyric was awesome or whatever.
So you get to just sort of switch off, just enjoy the sound, and then you can focus on whatever you're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks heaps for coming on, man.
Cheers, thank you for having me.
Thanks heaps for watching. And now we're going to check out a few songs.
Yeah.
Cheers. Mean.
Sweet.